What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday evening. If you're here on the live stream with Uncaged MTB and I, man, our guest tonight, episode 55 with Biker Robert from the B1ker Bar Podcast and YouTube channel is going to be our guest tonight. It's going to be super fun to hang out with him and get to know his story. Just taking a look at the chats, we're going to keep it super interactive. I see that we have the Bomber crew in the house. What's up, guys? We have Alpha MTB. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, how are those Coopers treating you? By the way, Ohms Bros MTB here for Biker. Be interesting to see him on the other side and not the host. Long night for him. I know he had the Crams Nutrition on, and I was actually listening to that while I was chasing the kiddos around. And I ordered some. I used the Biker code to get some a little bit of a discount there, and I have some of that coming in. It's going to be great. It's healthy nutritional snacks, very protein based with fiber and peanut butter and jelly. So that's going to be awesome.
Could have used that on our second climb this weekend.
Dude, the second climb for sure. For sure. We'll definitely get into that too on the show. Adam Mock is in the house. What's up, Bomber crew? And Alpha 2. MTB Nick 123 says, what's up? And man, Debbie Keogh is in the house. What's up, producer Debbie? Great to see you. And MTB Raging, what's up, guys? Good to see you, man. And thank you so much for having a speaking part on the video this weekend. I know that's always makes you a little nervous, so that was great. Alpha MTB says, amazing. Haha, took the DJ out today with them. Awesome.
Nice.
The dirt jumper on the Coopers. Dang, man. Joey, speaking of riding, I know it's Sunday. A lot of us have gone out for our adventures, and Sunday night, my legs are feeling a little bit worked. I don't know. How are yours?
They're doing fine, but I definitely felt it on that second climb.
Yes.
Yeah. That climb and then that jump line there it's a pedal jump line, and I was beat by the end of it.
Yeah, we were out there for a while. For those of you who haven't done Velocity, it's like 25 miles of trails, and we had done a bunch of sessions on the jump line. We were filming for a couple companies just to have fun with it. We were filming for a company called Goop Industries, and we were doing some film for our buddy. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. And we were also filming for TJ. TJ was out there, and TJ is the owner of Afton Shoes. And he brought some products out, and he was able to give some of those to the trail dogs. So you might be seeing something very cool coming out from the trail dogs. But we did a bunch of stuff at the bottom of the jump line with cameras and drones and everything. And then we decided to go up and do Matco, came back down, and then decided to go all the way back up again the second time to do ladders, which I haven't done in a while. And that was extremely fun and tiring. Couple more folks that are joining us. We got MTB Rad Dad is here. I'm here. What's up, Adam? I saw you were freezing your buns off at Sky Park today, but it looked amazing. I mean, that's going to be us next weekend.
I hope so.
30. What was it, Adam? 38 degrees out there today was the high? No, was it 43? 38. Air Blair is here. He says, missing riding with you guys this weekend. See you next weekend for sure. Definitely. Nice. We got John W on the line with a thumbs up. What's up, John? Good to see you as always. And dude, normal MTBer is on. I'm eating some hot wings in honor of Robert. Awesome.
Nice.
Sebastian, bro, I looked at your account. I think you jumped up. You're like at 40,000 followers right now. Awesome. Well deserved. I loved my favorite lately has been the one where mountain bikers go hiking. Jesus Louises, that was hilarious. We got Robert in the chat. Biker
Nice.
says, you are my hero, Normal. Oh man. So hey, before we get started, I definitely wanted to shout out this company. Now, they are not a sponsor of the show, but I thought it was a good tool that we could all use. I learned about them when we were in Sedona. And I talked to the owner, super cool guy. But have you guys ever heard of this can called Goop? G-U-P, Goop Industries. If you haven't, this little can, which Joey has right there, has sealant and air in it. So if you blow out your tire, you have air and sealant in there. So if your sealant's all dried up, you don't have to worry about it. This sucker has it in there. They have 2 cans. One is that with that hose that you see right there with that Joey's showing, and Joey's got the applicator on there. Joey, kind of, you were able to meet with Thomas to get some of these products, and tell us a little bit about how these work.
Yeah, he was showing me a couple of the different ways that you could or fill your tire up with it. First off, I didn't know if you were running a tube that it would work. It's not just for tubeless tires, because we came across that problem the week before. Someone in the group was still riding tubes and got a flat. So it was nice to know you could use both. This can here will do the Presta or the Schrader.
Okay.
This little guy there.
For those of you who are
Where's the camera?
Yeah, for those of you that are listening to audio only, Joey's showing the Goop can that has the tube on it. It looks like it's got the button on the top, so you can control the amount that you release, right?
Yeah, they say the best is to empty the tire completely.
Okay.
And then use the can, fill the whole tire up with it. And it goes in there like, it looks like shaving cream.
Okay.
But it will actually, in a couple minutes, it will liquefy. So once it's in, you just rotate the tire, and that thicker shaving cream will go and patch up the hole. And then once that's patched, it'll kind of liquefy and turn back into a liquid and work just like your normal stands or whatever one you orange seal, whatever you're using. It's pretty
whatever,
much the same
whatever slime you have in there. That's great. That's great.
Did recommend with the Presta is just go ahead and take that little cap off.
The black cap there?
Yeah, just remove it.
Okay.
And it will go, I don't know, I have one right here. It'll just go, let's see, right on there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay.
It's perfect.
Just take, okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously you want to let the air completely out of the tire, as they were saying, right?
If you let it completely out, and then put the valve at 12 o'clock at the top.
Okay.
Because otherwise, if it's down at the bottom, you're compressing the tire, and you're not going to allow the foam to go in there as quickly.
Interesting. We got a couple folks in here that are saying, MTB Rad Dad's saying, I always carry Goop. So yeah, he knows about Goop. That's awesome. Right. And where he is out there in the desert of Palm Springs, I've been out there with Adam. Those rocks are gnarly. So awesome that he has Goop out there.
And this is definitely true, what Craig's saying here.
MTB Raging says, didn't they say you can seat a bead with the amount of pressure in that little can? Yes, you can. You can. A lot of cans in there. Joey, what did Thomas say to you about that?
Yeah, that's definitely true. A lot of people don't know that if they need to seat a bead, that can will do it. It's got enough pressure in the can to pop the bead on.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And price point wise, I think these things are like $10 a can. So they're not going to break the bank. And you have basically your CO2 and your slime all in one package. And they're pretty light. I don't know. I strapped mine to the frame of my bike. I did get one in Sedona, and it doesn't even bother me. I don't hear it. I don't see it. So I feel like I'm prepared if I need it or somebody else needs it.
Yeah. And when we were in Sedona, I noticed I usually don't like to take anything. I don't want a toolkit or, if I'm going far from the car, I'll wear a backpack or something. But I try and go as light as I can. And in Sedona, I knew we were going to be out there, and I did not want to walk home. So I took that little toolkit that you saw that I strapped. I had the tire on there, tire levers, bacon strips. And right away,
the tube,
yeah. And right away, I felt the vibration in the bike, and it bugged me. That whole ride, it bugged me. And I was like, what is that? And I was just like, it's got to be that pack. It's got to be something shaking in there. And then the next day, we got the Goop, and there's nothing. It was right back to a normal bike. You don't even notice it's on the frame, which is perfect.
Yeah.
But definitely. I know I can get home if I get a flat. So that's
right. You don't have to do the walk of shame.
Right.
And
right.
MTB Rad Dad says, should have brought more water. Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
For the folks who haven't seen the video, basically we did Highline. We all took about a bottle of water, thinking that it was about a 3-mile trail. Didn't account for coming out of Templeton.
So, glad it wasn't hot that day.
We got lucky. Yeah. All right. Guys, for those of you who are on the show, for our guest, Robert runs this podcast. It's an awesome podcast. It's called the B1ker Bar Podcast. And the guy is like such an amazing character, such a cool guy to talk to. I was lucky enough to be on the show here recently, and he makes it very, very comfortable. Everything about biking is very knowledgeable and has had, so many guest stars and a lot of good celebrity mountain bikers in our community. I mean, I've seen Skills with Phil on there. You name it, Biker has had it on there. And we're lucky enough to have him on the show tonight. So if you guys have any questions for Biker, go ahead and put it in the chat. Joey, what do you think, man? Should we bring our special guest out?
Yeah, let's bring him out for sure.
All right, here we go.
Right,
here comes Robert.
Woo!
Yo,
Oh, yeah,
what's up, Biker?
I figured I should start drinking because this is gonna get weird real quick.
Cheers, my bro. Cheers,
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Thank you for
always
jumping on the show.
Really weird for me to not run the conversation. So,
Is it nice not to have to push the buttons and stuff like that?
that stuff doesn't bother me. Like, because I'm ADD, I like pushing all kinds of buttons anyway. I'm like, so, but it's just always strange for me, like, to not be driving the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'll do my best to just let you do your job.
I'll leave you two alone, so you guys have fun.
Joey, thanks for being on
problem.
here. Joey's going to jump backstage and kind of monitor the chats for us and pull anything up. Thank you, Mr. Uncaged MTB. So, folks, if you have questions for Robert, please chime it in. But basically, Biker, I love everything that you're doing. And I just wanted to tell everybody, when I was in Sedona, it was my first time being at the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. And you clearly were just the coolest guy to come up and say, hey, man, I'm Robert. And welcome to this whole like crazy YouTube world. And I'd love to have you on here. And it was just like, thank you so much. I'm so intimidated to be around all these people.
No, I can understand how that feels, especially like a lot of the guys that were there, we all know each other. So I'm sure you felt like when we first all kind of started that group of like MTB creators, like most of us were all pretty new at it. So we all were, regardless of where we were subscriber wise, we were all like kind of just starting out, and some of us now like subscriber wise are doing better than others. So basically everybody that started is doing better than me. And but all nonetheless, like, yeah, I mean, we're all kind of meeting each other that first Sedona around that time all together. And so now kind of coming into it, I could see like, man, all these people know each other, they have things to talk about and blah blah blah. Like, definitely has to feel a little strange.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of one of those like, oh my gosh, there's Biker, there's the Crashing Dad, there's MTB Allen, there's all these people all in one room. And man, it was a little intimidating, but you made it very comfortable, man. I really appreciate that. That was
right on, man.
So super cool of you.
I didn't even know I was doing that. Maybe next time I should think about that.
No, it was awesome. We got a question here from Sebastian. Normal MTBer has a serious question for you for his hot wings. He says, Robert, mild, medium, hot, or extra hot? Ranch or blue cheese dip?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just jumped right in because I was like, got excited. We're talking about chicken wings. So if you guys don't follow my channel or anything, that's definitely the staple of my diet. And I'll tell you this right now, Normal. I'm pretty much always going to order extra hot because almost nowhere that you order hot wings and you say hot, that they're actually like hot. So that's pretty much, I'll go straight to the top. And then if I have to learn a lesson, I'll be easily like gladly humbled. But for the most part, I mean, aside from like going to like B-dubs and getting their like whatever their challenge wings are, the ones that are like ridiculously hot. I don't think I've eaten any wings anywhere that I was like, this is too hot. So then the ranch or blue cheese, dude, every time you go to a new restaurant, you have to order them both because this is the thing. Restaurants only do one or the other good. They never have a good ranch and a good blue cheese. So like, and when you ask the person that's the server, right? Like, hey, do you like the ranch or the blue cheese? You don't know like if they actually like the same things as you. So they could say like, this is the best ranch. And then you taste it. You're like, this is garbage. Yeah. So basically order them both, try them. And then from there, like I could tell you what I eat at what restaurant, like Hooters, 100% their ranch is the one. But like if you go to B-dubs, I think I do their ranch there too. There's like a restaurant here in town, a couple of them that's like 100% their blue cheese. So I don't know. There you go. That's the long answer.
There you go, Sebastian. A little bit of everything. So it depends on what restaurant you're at. Chat in there if you wouldn't mind chatting in there, Sebastian, normal MTB, or where did you get the hot wings from? And that ought to help out a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
Uncaged MTB says, Joey Diaz says blue cheese. Got to go with blue cheese. We got Alpha MTB says BWW or Wingstop.
Yeah, I would go if I had to choose one of those two. I'd probably go B-dubs because Wingstop's decent. I mean, it's cool that you can pick them up, but I feel like I don't like their flavors as much. I think B-dubs has better flavors, but B-dubs has like their chicken wings are like too big sometimes, and I like them when they're smaller. That's kind of one of the things that I like about Hooters is because it's like the perfect amount of like chicken wing and ranch and sauce all in one bite, where like B-dubs sometimes the chicken wing's so big it's like there's too much chicken, not enough skin or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you a chicken wing person?
I am a chicken wing person. I do like chicken wings, and I have to tell you guys a funny story about chicken wings in Sedona, and Joey is going to agree with me on this. We were at the Sedona bike park, and it was night 2 of dinner, right? So the first night we were all at that burger joint, and I got a text from Tony DeSilva, Mr. Outsider MTB, and he says, "Hey man, I'm down the street at this restaurant. They got the best chicken wings." And it'd been at the end of the day. We were all tired. We're like, that sounds great. It was starting to get cold. It was going to be the perfect time to get chicken wings. So we find Mr. Tony in this like dive-ish bar / restaurant, maybe kind of. And it was like way off the grid. And it looked like some place that was going to be a warehouse where you open the door and there's just going to be cars jacked up on the racks there, and not a food place. And we get there, and Tony's sitting in there, and it looks like it's the type of place that you throw the peanut shells on the floor, and there's a bar there, and you know, it's just like a very, very local type of crowd there. And we're like, all right, Tony, we're all hungry, man. Can't wait to try these chicken wings. And he looks at us and he goes, "They don't serve chicken wings here." And we're like, wait, what? And my wife and Uncaged MTB's wife, we canceled our reservations at this other location because this place has this amazing chicken wings, and we ended up settling for peanuts, and I think we had deviled eggs, and the place just started serving food. It was a cash only place, and the guy had kind of created a menu. So it's like opposite of everything. And,
I'll tell you.
I'll
tell you right now. If you want the best wings in Sedona, go to Famous Pizza. They have 2 locations.
Ooh.
One in West Sedona and one in the other side over by Bell Rock. I don't know what that's east or north, or I don't know what direction it is, but I can tell you they have the best wings. Honestly, every year that me and my friends go to Sedona, we think that we're going to eat somewhere else, and we honestly just eat there for like 4 days straight.
Oh, dang. Dang. That is really good then.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, we're making people hungry here. We got MTB Nick says he's got the chicken wings right there. We got Charlie Hicks, Georgia in the house. What's up? What's up, Charlie? Thanks for joining on. MTB Nick is hungry, he's saying. Debbie Keogh says hungry. MTB Raging says I'm blue cheese all the way. Dang. Okay. Chicken wings, Robert, best at the end of the day or right after a ride, or does it matter?
I'm pretty much like equal opportunity with when I would eat them, but I would say after a ride is like the best, because then I don't feel so bad about eating a bunch of fried food and like drinking a bunch of beer. But yeah, I would say post ride, definitely.
Post ride, right?
Yeah,
immediate post ride.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I actually went and rode a couple of hours from here recently just so I could eat chicken wings at Hooters, because they closed all the Hooters in like Northern California except for this one. So I drove down to Santa Rosa, which is close to where normal MTBer is, and rode Annandale down there just so that we could go to Hooters afterwards. So
nice.
And apparently the girls there don't get like a bunch of hungry mountain bikers very often. We ordered 100 wings and the chick's jaw just hit the ground. like she was like, what? And I'm like looking at the table. There was like 6 of us. I'm like, this is not that many, like, because I used to go there like back whenever they had all you could eat and eat like 50 wings by myself.
Okay.
So she's like, I've never seen somebody order 100 before. And we're just like, you are crazy. You've been working here for like a week?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Dude, I just had it sounds like a lot. And I just did the math. So for 6 of you guys, that's 16.66 weeks. So okay, that's not as bad. But
Yeah.
dude, when you
I ate 40 of them and nobody else got to eat 16. So I can tell you that much right now.
Oh man.
I eat like super fast. And then I joined the military when I was younger, and then I ate even faster. So like my friends, when we all go like to get wings like that, they're definitely like, dude, you need to get your chops in because Robert's gonna freaking take your fingers off if you don't get to it. You'll be sitting there hungry.
you got MTB raging right there with the look on his face, like, oh, 100. If you guys are listening, now is a good time to chat in. What's the most amount of chicken wings you have ever eaten in one single sitting? For Robert, is it it's 40?
No, I've eaten more than that.
What would you say?
I think I've eaten like 60 or 70 because when they used to do that, like that all you can eat night, I swear they would get like Ethiopian chickens or something like that.
They're like really tiny little things.
Yeah, they would be like little tiny little baby ones. You know, like what was that? There was that movie with Ben Stiller, I think it was, or like Tom Hanks. He was eating a little tiny corn. He was like that's how those wings would be. So like, I remember just eating a boatload of them there, but I don't feel like that counts. You know, because some places you could go, like B-Dubs, for example, you could go there and eat like 15 wings and be stuffed, and then you could go in the same like hungerness and go to Hooters and eat like 40. You know what I mean?
Be about the same amount of material, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny, man. So much about chicken wings I would have never known, but I'm going to check out some B-Dubs. So you mentioned a little bit about the military, and thank you for your service.
Oh, thanks,
for that. We always appreciate that and love everybody on the show. We actually had a big veterans group on not too long ago called the Bomber Crew, and they're doing a lot of cool things, trying to really impact that number of suicides in military. I think it's like 22 a day, and they're out there getting people out on the trails to really beat depression and anxiety and off the couch. Isaiah Bernstein is actually active military, saying 15. So maybe the number is down a bit. So that's still a high number, but it's way better than 22. So
maybe that's how many chicken wings he could eat.
Or Isaiah, I'm sure you could do more than 15, brother. It's double digits though, so that's still good. Oh man. So Robert, take us back, because I know a little bit about your background about mountain biking, and I think you came from BMX, but at what point did you cross over from when you were a kid or a teenager or whenever you started and decided to, hey man, this bike thing is for me? When was that? How'd that happen?
Well, bikes were always like a part of my life. You know, I think the first bike I got that I can remember like real distinctively would have been like somewhere around like first or second grade. No, actually it was before that. It was kindergarten, because I remember my dad teaching me how to ride in the backyard. And I grew up in Pennsylvania, so they have alleyways in town. So that's like a little, you guys know what an alleyway is. I don't know. Californians don't really have alleys. So I was like trying to think, do I need to explain this? I don't know. But anyway,
seen it on all the movies though.
yeah, right. So and I remember him like walking me around the yard a couple times and then just kind of like letting me go, and me riding down the street and being like I remember that day like do you remember the first day you ever like learned how to ride a bike? You know?
I do. I do. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like it's like a real thing in your memory. You know, you don't forget that. And I think that is like part of the reason that, you know, I still enjoy it. It's like that feeling of like freedom and all the enjoyment and the like, you know, happiness that you get out of it. Like that's still there, you know. And I'm like what, 44 years old or something like that. And I'm still stoked when I get done riding. So to answer your question though, I rode mountain bikes for the first time. I think I was in like 8th grade. My mom was dating this guy that was into mountain bikes. So that was like early 90s. So like mountain bikes were basically like road bikes with like knobby tires on them and flat bars. And they bought me this bike from Montgomery Ward's, which if you guys aren't familiar with that, it's kind of like a Sears or a Walmart kind of joint. And so I would ride BMX with my buddies like during the day or whatever. And then on the weekends, I'd go ride with these guys that were like my age now, you know, like 30, 40 years old. And it was just super fun. So I had that bike for about a year. They bought like this extended warranty on it. And you like, if you broke anything, you could take it back and they would fix it. So I was like breaking pedals and bending rims and snapping derailleurs, like, because this thing's a piece of crap, right? And I'm just beating the shit out of it. And then back then it's like fully rigid. There was no suspension or anything. So it was like really like taking a beating every time you go out. And then right before the warranty was up, I took it in. I ended up getting all their money back. Like I turned it in. I was like, I don't want this piece of crap anymore. And they refunded me. Wow. And I took that money and put it as a down payment on a Giant at the time. And it was the Giant ATX 760. Cause I remember looking at that thing for like, back then bike shops had layaway. I don't know if they do that still, but like you could put it on layaway. So like paid them that much. And then I like mowed lawns and got birthday money or Christmas money or whatever it was to like get up to the $500 that bike cost. Oh, and wow. The funny thing is like the top of the line Giant at that time was $999.
Oh, wow.
So this was like the third from the top of the line, you know, that was it, man. And like, I really like rode a lot with those guys on the weekends and stuff. And then right before I got out of high school, that bike ended up getting destroyed. You know, the fork broke or something like that. And I kind of didn't ride mountain bike for a while. I went in the military. I got out, had kids, and started gaining weight. And somewhere along the line, I was like, man, I want to get back into riding. And that was around 2006.
Was that based on where you were in your life at that point, or was there an influence that kind of brought that thought process back
to ride again?
Yeah.
I think it was just a matter of like whenever I was like, I got out of doing more physical labor jobs and I started doing IT. So I couldn't eat the way that I was. Plus I was getting older. So then my metabolism was slowing down and so just gained a bunch of weight. So whenever I knew I needed to lose weight, I was like, well, what do I know how to do? I knew how to run because the military, like we did a lot of that. Mm-hmm. I knew how to work out. And I was like, what else can I do that's fun, that's going to help me like burn calories, right? And I just knew that I always enjoyed riding a bike, you know? So I actually had that bike that was broken. It was still in the attic of my grandmother's house. And I sent her a message and I asked her to mail it to me because I was like, I'm going to fix that old mountain bike, man, you know? And dude, that thing showed up and I was like, this thing is garbage. I'm not getting on this. And I like put it out on the street with a for free sign. Yeah. And that thing was gone in like minutes. And
oh, geez.
Yeah. And so I ended up like, there's a couple of good stories out of that because first of all, later I kicked myself in the ass for giving that bike away because it would have been really rad to still have it. Like I could have made it like a fun like bar bike or a single speed or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things I could have done with that. Yeah. And I wish I wouldn't have done that. But outside of that, so then I go to the bike shop because I'm gonna like go buy a real mountain bike, right? And I'm thinking to myself, my last mountain bike that I bought was like $500, almost top of the line, right?
Right.
So 20 years later, I'm thinking I'm gonna go in this bike shop. I'm gonna spend like $2,000. I'm gonna get the best bike they have.
Oh boy!
And I walked in and I told the guy, I was like, hey man, I want to get a mountain bike. And he's like, all right, cool. Do you want a trail bike? Do you want a cross country bike? Do you want a downhill, enduro? What are you looking for? I don't think it was enduro back then, but he like named like 5 different kinds of bikes.
You're like,
I looked at him like dead in the eye, like stared deep into his soul. And I was like, dude, I said mountain bike. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
What kind of language?
From there, he proceeded to tell me like this whole world that I didn't realize like had evolved while I was away from the sport. So,
wow. Wow. So what did you end up? So you got through that part, and then did you see something on the floor? Did you get something that day, or did you have to go back and like, I got to look all this stuff up and find out what's going on here?
No, man, I'm like such a fickle person, dude. Like I'm down by like what color something is. Like most of the cars that I've bought are like, man, I think that looks cool. I don't give a shit what the engine is or anything, right? But there was 2 bikes that they had at the shop that were like kind of in that price range of what I wanted to spend. And one of them was a last year's model, so it had some better components. And then
Okay.
one of them was a new one, but not as good as components. So I rode both those bikes, and one of them had mechanical brakes and one of them had hydraulic brakes. And
Ooh.
that bike with the hydraulic brakes, I was like, you know what? That is a huge difference. Like I could like tremendously tell the difference. Even at, as a person, I had been on a bike at that point probably for years. And that's what sold me on that bike. So I ended up buying a Cannondale Prophet, which had about 5 inches of travel in 2006. When I told people I had 5 inches of travel, they thought I was fucking crazy, man. They
It's
were
a
like,
motorcycle.
yeah, they were like, that's so much travel. What are you, downhill, like doing a downhill race or something? I'm like, no, dude, this is like, and now it's like you tell people like that was a 140 millimeter bike. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
people now are like 140, you're like, whatever, dude. Like I'm rocking 170, shut up. Like
Go look on this trail. No.
yeah. They're like 140. That's like a downcountry bike, dude. Come on. So yeah. So that was the bike, man. That as soon as I took that bike out, I don't remember. I want to say I bought the bike. Like I had what was it? A hernia. I had like a hernia that before I bought the bike. That was like a hernia, like right at my belly button. Like somehow you're like, they call it an umbilical hernia.
Okay.
I guess like sometimes like that's just like a weak spot. You have that ever since you're a baby, and somewhere along the line it turns up, right? So I had that surgery, and I want to say that maybe I bought the bike like right before I had the surgery, like, but didn't get a chance to ride it, or I bought it like while I was like in recovery, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I was like off of work. I couldn't go to work, so I went and bought this bike, and I couldn't wait to ride it. I was like, new bike day, it doesn't matter like if you're not into
Indeed.
bikes or not, like new bike day,
Yes.
you want to ride the hell out of that thing.
Heck yeah.
And so I remember being like not supposed to be like doing any kind of activity because I got all these stitches around my belly button, right where they fixed this hernia. And so I take the bike out. I'm like, fuck this, man. I'm going out. I'm fucking tough, dude. And so I go out and I'm riding around some like pretty XC like fire road, like not anything like quote unquote mountain bikey that I would be considering mountain biking now, right? And I ate shit something fierce.
Oh
So
no.
bad that I broke a couple of ribs.
Oh no. Jeez Louise.
So here I am supposed to be like not at work because
How are you gonna hide that from the doctor?
But it was like fortunate that I just had the surgery though, because they gave me Vicodin for the pain of the surgery, and I'm not like a big pill person, so like I was like, I don't need it. So I wasn't taking it, but I broke those ribs, dude, and I was taking that shit because oh my god, that hurts.
You're like Tic Tacs, like
right? Yeah. Right? Oh my god. And I laugh a lot, and let me tell you, like laughing and broken ribs don't go well together.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Or getting a broken rib and then catching a cold. Oh my god, here we go. We were just talking about Tony. The Outsider MTB jumped on, and Tony, we were just talking about that bar / restaurant, and we thought that they had chicken wings in there. We were talking about that in Sedona. MTB Radio says, Tony, you've got some explaining to do. That's where that came from. That's where that came from about the dinner. Oh my gosh. Going back to that, says we need Robert down here to hit some SoCal trails. Ooh, yeah. What are you thinking? You coming down this way anytime soon?
Yeah. No, I'd like to plan something. I was telling Tony that he was up here recently, and had him over to my house and stuff like that. And I definitely would like to get down there. I don't know why I haven't made that trip yet. Honestly, it's like it's not that far, really. Realistically, it's like 6-hour drive, right? And to go down for like a long weekend or something like that, it would be super easy to do. And I just need to do it. And honestly, what it really comes down to is like in the summertime up here, when there's no snow in Tahoe, I'm trying to ride as much of that stuff as I can, because there's only like so many weekends that you can, get up there and explore. But in the winter, like we're down here riding all this other stuff, that's like kind of our normal riding spots, and it would make way more sense to go down to SoCal now.
Yeah.
But this is the thing in the last winter and this winter, is like I got into building trails, and now like in the winter, that's really like it's kind of like it's got my focus, is like trying to build some trails.
Nice.
So
yeah,
I have to give and take.
Yeah, I mean, you're up there. You're close to Colorado Kid, who I see is also in the chat here on the podcast. What's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. He says, "Oh man, Robert pulling double podcast duty today." Yes, sir, he is. Charlie Hicks saying podcast all night long. Do you have one after this one too?
Not yet, man. But maybe if I drink enough beer, I'll do a biker live stream.
Biker bar after hours for Patreons only.
Yeah, there you go.
Colorado
join my
Kids.
Patreon, and I'll do a live stream.
Yeah, there you go. Colorado Kid says, haha, now I feel like I got to do a live stream after this and invite Robert on. There you go.
I'm in.
There it is. It's done. It's set. It's set. AJ says, oh, dude, you gotta vote for it. Do it, Callie. Do it, Colorado Kid. Do it. Bomber Crew says, come join a Bomber Crew MTB ride. Y'all fit right in as a vet. Perfect. Right. That's a good invite right there. That squad is strong. You show up to one of those, it's about 100 or so strong.
Oh, wow. That's a big group, man.
Yeah. And they're pretty new to the scene as well. And you have a good mix. You have Army and Navy and Marines. And then, you just don't want to get them against each other by like, we're the best. And then,
yeah, but everybody likes talking smack to each other. Like,
it's true.
I got a bunch of guys that I know that are Marines, and I'm always like giving them shit about eating crayons and stuff like that. Like, they're always messing with me, and it's just, I think, when you've done that, have that as part of your life, like that's kind of what you do while you're in the military, is like really bag on each other. So when you get out, you can't talk to like civilians the same way that you could talk to people in the military.
Yes.
So I feel like everybody just enjoys being around each other.
Bomber Crew's right here. They're saying crayons are tasty.
Yeah, must be a Marine. He probably only likes the grape flavors though.
Fred, let us know if it's the grape flavor. Trail Dog says, yep, that's me. So who do you think, as far as like the brotherhood and that just jovial back and forth in the armed forces, who gets it the worst? Because I always feel like I hear a lot about the Air Force. But in your opinion, who seems to get the brunt of the humor the worst?
Yeah, I mean, everybody just calls the Air Force like lazy. Like, so they're just like, realistically, this is the deal with the Air Force. Everybody that makes fun of the Air Force is just making fun of them because they're upset that they didn't join the Air Force. Because like the Air Force got like the best barracks, and they always had like, the best looking women, and like just like everything was great for them. And then everybody else is like slowly sucking more from there. So, but I feel like the Navy, man, they really get a bad rap for the whole like you want to be a sailor, I'll show you my toolbox. So like, who knows? I would think if it was probably out of like the people that I've made fun of the most, I'd probably give the Navy guys the most shit.
The Navy guys would get it the most. Haley Bernstein is saying Coast Guard because they always get forgotten.
Yeah, right. They're like the National Guard. Like nobody gives a shit. They're like, oh, that's right. You were in the military. Right on. Here's a VA loan for you.
Bomber Crew's calling the Air Force the Chair Force.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm losing all my Air Force subscribers right now as we speak. But this is all in good love. All in good love. Space Force is what they're saying. Tony is actually saying he's saying some with e-bikes.
Same with e-bikes.
Oh, same with e-bikes. Jeez Louise, I can't read. Same with e-bikes.
Right.
I was thinking Air Force guys had the e-bikes and everybody else had analogs or something. We also
so he's basically making the correlation that I said, like people are just pissed that they didn't have that they weren't in the Air Force. So it's the same thing as like people that don't have e-bikes are talking shit like, I hate e-bikes, but they really just wish they had one.
Yeah, exactly. Bomber Crew say nothing but love for all the branches. Yeah, very true. Very true, man. You guys do some great things for our country, which is awesome.
At the end of the day, this is the thing I always tell people. like, I don't give a shit what your MOS was. That MOS is like what your job was in the military. Like, it takes a certain person to sign that line. And regardless of what your job is, like, even if you're like a check cutter, right? Like, when you sign that line that says that you're going to go in the military, and you're honestly saying, I'm willing to give my life for what I believe in this country. Like, even if you're a check cutter, you could be in a convoy going to the place that you go to check cuts at, and somebody blows it up and you die. You know what I mean? Like that, like, so no matter what your job was, whether somebody wants to like be like, you know, oh, I'm super hard, I was a SEAL, or I was a infantry guy, or I was a artillery guy, or yeah, who cares, man? There's other people out there that don't have those kind of jobs, but they still sign the line. And that's what, to me, means the most, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, so true. Bomber Crew says 100%. Trail Dogs out there says 190%. Yep, you got some agreement on that for sure, for sure. So when you went into the military and you got out, you were kind of like starting the family, getting into the working world, knowing that you needed to do something, and you jumped on that bike. You went in, you got that bike, 140 miles of travel. People were like, that's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
What would they have said today with everything that we have going on? And did you see this coming with all the different types of bikes and suspension and air attendants that we have now?
You know, I mean, obviously, like, if you tell people right now that you're buying a 140 millimeter bike, like, I would think, if anything, people think you're not buying enough suspension, you know? My personal opinion is that a lot of people are overbiked. And if you are a person that rides, you know, 170 millimeters of travel, right on, dude, like, more power to you. But go out and get a bike that has a shorter travel on it and ride some of the stuff that you ride, and it's freaking fun. And it's like, maybe in some cases it's more difficult, and that's part of it is fun too, you know? Like, that's why people are digging, like, riding the hardtails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As far as like seeing which way it was going to go, no, I didn't see any. I mean, at that point I was just buying a bike that, to me, I was just like being like anybody else. Like, how much is more travel? Okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really know what that meant when I was talking to the guy. All I knew was I rode that one, it was squishy. I rode that one, it was squishy. And that one had better brakes. I really liked the way the brakes were. So that's the reason I'm buying it. And I liked it was black. You know, like,
Yeah, that color was a big one for you. I remember that.
man, that's definitely so.
No, a lot of guys are at like 170, 160, and it seems to be that this trend where a lot of guys are going, or guys and gals are going back down in travel. I recently saw a video of Tony, who's on here, and Outsider was on an Izzo, YT Izzo, which was smaller. And then I believe I had heard on either one of your episodes or on one of your podcasts, you actually have two analog bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Bronson. That's a 27.5 wheel, and it's 160 mil travel. So that's kind of my Smash Rocks bike. And then I have a Tall Boy, which is set up with 140 on the fork and 120 in the rear. So I was riding a hardtail Chameleon, Santa Cruz Chameleon, for a while. That had 140 mil fork on that. And it just would, like, I loved that bike. It was so much fun to ride. And it was so much fun to, like, get the same downhill times on that bike as I was getting on my full suspension, or like right next to my buddies that would be like on a 170 mil bike, and we'd get to the bottom. They'd be like, holy shit, you're right there. Like, that feels cool, you know?
Yeah.
And, but it would just beat my back up, like, really bad. And, not, you know, I think at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? I would really enjoy having just a little bit of travel in the rear end. So when you're like on those trails that have like chatter, and you're just like, you can't be out of the saddle when you're like pedaling flats or uphill or whatever, and that little bit of travel in the back just really smooths that out. And then, you know, overall though, the bike still like plays and is fun like my hardtail was. So I really, really enjoy that bike.
Do you find that when you take the smaller travel bike out, it changes your riding style, or do you select the bike based on the trails that you're going to go on?
I usually select the bike on the trails that I'm going to go on, but I definitely will I don't know what the right word is. I definitely take the wrong bike a lot. And like, so meaning the short travel bike to a place that's way chunkier than it probably should be. Like I've done that a bunch of times. And most of the time, I mean, actually every time, like it still handles it. It's just like your body's going to take a little more abuse. So like there was a trail in this area kind of up by Downeyville. A lot of people know Downeyville. There's a trail called Mills Peak. And the first time I rode that with my tall boy, I was just like, man, it's just like baby head central on this thing for like 5 miles of the trail. It's just like, you know, and I just remember being done with that first lap that we did and just being like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about doing a second one. But, and it just beat me up. And then I remember thinking, man, that would be great if I had my Bronson. I wish I would have brought both my bikes. And then later I rode that same trail in the Bronson. And it was like totally different. It was like, oh my God, this is so fun.
So smooth.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's possible, but it's definitely, there's definitely a way to choose the wrong bike, but
we got a couple of chats. I just want to highlight. Colorado Kid says, that's how I feel whenever I sign up to do a techie climb with BKXC. You got the flags there from MTB Nick. MTB Nick says 200 mils all day. Adam says, I 100% agree on the overbiked statement. Yeah, I know that. I know Adam Miller, MTB Rad Dad's kind of been going a little bit lesser travel on the intense selection there from that company. Normal mountain biker is saying, if you scale me down to the size of average people, me on a 170 is the same as a normal person on a 120. So, so that's that.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it normal.
Sebastian, he's not buying it, Sebastian. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
I get what he's saying too, but
AJ is saying it's fun downsizing the bike as you get better progress. So, I mean, as we're talking about downsizing the bike and bigger bikes and smaller bikes, what is your thought on the mullet setup? And have you had much experience on that mullet setup?
Oh man, I would love to get some experience on the mullet because
Yes.
obviously anybody that follows my channel, I'm like a super Santa Cruz fanboy. And yeah, I just saw Normal wants to fight. We'll have to fight. We'll put the pink slips of the bike on the line and we'll see what's up, man.
This has to be done at Colorado Kids Fireside Chat going down during Dirt Days in March. So buy your tickets now. Normal Mountain Biker versus Robert.
Right. I feel like, yeah. So back to the conversation.
Yes,
here.
the mullet.
Yeah, as Colorado Kid says, Robert needs a new Bronson. So that's definitely where I'm going. The new Bronson is a mullet, and I'm really intrigued by it. When I had the V2 Bronson, I didn't know what they could possibly do to make that bike better. And when they brought out the V3, like I rode it and I did a video on it, and I was kind of like, I liked how my bike, my V2 was like a little more poppy. But in the back of my mind, I knew that V3 was like way more plush. And later on, I ended up getting the V3 because of the color. And
what color? Black? Was it black?
That gray one, man. I like that flat gray. It just looks so sick.
Oh,
and I was feeling like for my channel, like I needed to have a newer bike to like kind of stay relevant with what's new or whatever. So I took the opportunity during COVID to sell my old one, which I ended up like getting like only like $1,000 less than what I bought it for.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? So like, and I had rode it for 3 years. So, so I bought the V3. And when I started riding the V3, I was like, oh my God, this thing is actually like way better. Like I didn't notice it from one ride for an hour. You know what I mean? Whenever I did the test ride on the video, but after having it for like a week or two, I just realized like, man, this thing like corners so much better. It like tracks so much, like so much about it. It's so much better. And that really made me feel like these guys aren't just like marketing some like bullshit about this is better. Like it actually is better. And so when they brought out this new one and it's a mullet, and I'm not big on 29ers, and so I'm really conflicted. So it's like on one hand, I really like the V3. That thing rides so good. But if those guys over at Santa Cruz are like, this is better, then it really makes me wonder, like, it's going to be one of two things that's going to happen. either I'm going to try it, I'm going to love it, they're right, or I'm going to try it and that'll be the bike that makes me maybe not buy Santa Cruz again,
Yeah,
you know.
interesting. So I heard you say that you're a big fan of the 27.5, but not the 29er. Is that through your experience on riding the two sizes, or?
Yeah, I had a 29 wheels on the Chameleon, and then I also was riding 27.5 plus on there, which is close to a 29er.
Yeah.
And then the tall boy has 29er on it as well. So the bike that I'm riding, I think I ride the tall boy more than I ride the Bronson, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
At least in that's pretty much because most of my during the week rides are local, and so even in the summertime when I'm doing a lot of stuff in Tahoe, that's when I'm taking the Bronson. But most of my stuff during the week, I'm still riding my tall boy.
Okay.
And a 29er has some benefits. I won't say that it doesn't, without a doubt. But I have not ridden one that is as responsive and flicky as a 27.5.
Okay.
And so I really like technical, chunky stuff. And the rollover is a little better on the 29er. But I don't feel like you can control that bike as well as you can a 27.5. Especially if you're in slow tech, or even the faster chunky stuff. Sometimes it's you are pointing the wheel, you want it to go this way, and it still kind of takes a little bit of its own line. And I feel like the 27.5, it's not that way.
More sports car, more responsive.
Yeah.
MTB Raging here is saying mullet equals super planet in my short-term opinion. Corners. He just picked up, MTB Raging just picked up a YT decoy mullet setup, and maybe that slacked out difference there. But Robert, for you, it sounds like you like the flickiness of the 27.5, but you also like to smash the rocks. And so maybe that's the intriguing part of a mullet experience, you think?
The thing that's intriguing to me is mostly the reason I told that story is those guys don't engineer shit that doesn't isn't better. That's one part, So if those guys are taking their flagship, one of their flagship bikes, the Bronson, and changing it to a mullet, I don't feel like they're doing that just for some PR stunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I've had some friends that are riding mullets just tell me how much they enjoy them. And the way that they explain it, it sounds intriguing to me. It sounds really intriguing to me. So, I'm really I don't know how to feel about it. I really want to go out and try a bike, and one of my buddies, Moonlight Leatherfoot, he's on my channel a lot, and he's planning on buying one of the new Bronsons, so I'm pretty stoked because he's the same size as me. So I'd be able to get a couple of rides on it, not just go out and just try 1 hour or whatever, rent one for the day or something like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see how it is. And like I said, that I think would be one of those things that that'll really kind of make or break it for me, whether or not I stay with buying Santa Cruz, because I really, really like the 27.5 platform. And I don't want to go to a Nomad. I don't really feel like that's what I want to do, but maybe who knows? Maybe they're going to mullet the Nomad next,
Yeah, it does make you wonder what's going to happen, and it sounds intriguing to have the best of both worlds on one bike. So it'll be cool to see how it goes. I mean, obviously, we'd watch the channel and watch your experience through it, and hear you tell the story behind it, which will be cool when you're able to do so. But speaking of the channel, when it comes to the Biker Bar and the Biker channel, what's been going on with it lately? What's new? And where do you have any new ideas that you're thinking about doing for the shows or episodes?
As far as the podcast goes, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing right now. Sunday nights episodes, 5:00 Pacific Standard. It's usually about 2 hours. Sometimes, depending on the guests, it may be a little shorter. a little longer, but that's kind of like the mainstay there is like interview people in the industry, interview other YouTubers, and just have good conversations. Like I've been compared a bunch of times as like the Joe Rogan of mountain biking, is like what I've heard a lot of people say. So
That's a compliment. Big
really
compliment.
quite flattering,
Yeah.
But I just like having that laid back conversation. I feel like in terms of like the long-term strategy of biker as far as a brand, I think that the podcast is really where the longevity will come, because injured, not injured, if I'm 60 years old, like I could still be doing interviews and like talking to people about the industry. I feel like I don't know how many like 20-year-old guys want to watch like a 50-year-old dude like making YouTube videos about riding. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I mean, we'll find out. But I enjoy the biker channel itself as well, and I really enjoy the creative process of making those videos. It's a lot of fun, like interacting with people that way. So it's just a lot of work to do all that editing and stuff like that. So I right now I'm doing these like 90-second 90-second reviews on the biker channel mostly, and a lot of people seem to like that. So it's just like the way I explained it to people is, whenever you're on the side of the trail and when your buddies is like, hey, do you like that pedal? You don't tell your buddy like for 15 minutes like why you like that pedal. Like
True.
You tell them in like a minute or two.
Especially if you're climbing.
Right. You know what I mean? Like you don't go on and on about it. And that's kind of what I don't like about reviews, where it's like we watch all these guys doing review videos and it's like, God, it's like 5 minutes into the video and you're like, can you get to the freaking point already? Like I'm like tired of this. And like you haven't even like you just want to know what the nitty gritty is. And so on those 90-second reviews, it's actually pretty hard to like get everything that you want to get out into 90 seconds. And sometimes you have to like make sacrifices. It's like, oh, I forgot to say that, or I couldn't say that. I just didn't have enough time because I wanted to talk about these other couple of things. And so it forces you to be like real honest. Like, this is cool. This part sucks.
Yeah.
Buy it. Or this part sucks. Don't buy it. Or I don't know. This is my experience. You decide on your own. You know what I mean? Like, but this is what happened. I had to go ahead.
Oh no, I love that setup that you do there, and I love how you take the phone and you set the timer. And you're like 90 seconds. Here we go. And man, I don't know, but when you're making those videos, are you doing that a one take shot? Because it looks like it's a one take.
Yeah, it's one take. Yeah.
Jeez.
If I do the 90 seconds and I don't feel like I got everything I wanted to say in there, or sometimes I'll get like halfway through and then I'll like screw up what I'm saying, and I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna restart. So usually I'm most of those I'm probably recording like 2 to 3 times. Like,
that's impressive.
So it'll just be like, I'll do the 90 seconds and then I'll finish and I'll be like, oh man, I forgot to say this. So then I'll start over again. Or sometimes like, cause I usually like film like 6 or 7 or 8 of them all at once.
Okay.
So I'll just come out to the garage and just film for like an hour or two, whatever it is. Right. And as I get rolling into them, like the ones that are like 4, 5, and 6 in the loop, a lot of times I'll get those on like the first take, because it'll be like I'm in the moment. You know what I mean? I'm like firing all the cylinders.
Yeah.
But usually it's like 2 to 3 times that I record it. And then what I have done, what originally was like doing one take from very beginning all the way to the end, and like including whenever I'm talking after the 90 seconds. And what I have done now is like, if I screw something up in that last part where I'm like, oh, I forgot to say like subscribe, or I forgot to like tell them like, hey, buy my merch, here's this shirt, like then I'll record that and then I can make those edits. But I don't make any cuts in the whole 90 seconds at all. It's like beginning to end, and then that's it.
That's pretty impressive. That's really impressive. And how did you come up with that format? Was it just something you thought of one day when you were riding with a buddy and like, why don't we do more of these like quick hits on product review?
Well, obviously you have a lot of time freaking in the saddle to think when you're climbing. And I've been working on trying to lose weight. That's like a series that's going on in my channel. I've been trying to lose 80 pounds.
Okay.
And so I've been doing a lot of riding. And while I was riding, I was trying to think of a way that I could like do something that would be like for YouTube Shorts, for Instagram Reels, for TikTok, and like one thing that would like be able to like edit for all three of those platforms. And I didn't come up with that, but I did come up with with the 90-second review, because basically I was like, oh, okay, how long? Like, because the same thing I said earlier about like why somebody doesn't talk for 15 minutes about a pedal. So I was like, okay, well, what's the amount of time that I could like talk to somebody about something that like is short enough that like you almost can't not watch it till the end,
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of came up with 90 seconds. And I was in my head, I was thinking 60's like just too short. Like it's just not enough time,
Yeah.
And so then when I went home after the ride and I like kind of looked up, like, how long can a TikTok video be? How long can a reel be? And they were like 60 seconds. I was like, fuck.
You're like, damn, so close.
So close. Because shorts, I think the reels might actually be able to be longer on Instagram, but I think TikTok is the one where it's like has to be 60 seconds.
Gotcha.
So at that point, I was like, okay, well, I still need an idea for that. So because I still want something that I can use on those three platforms. I feel like I, as a brand, I should be on TikTok, and as a brand, I should be using the reels on Instagram, because the only thing I post on Instagram is pictures. Every once in a while, I'll do like a little short video, but I pretty much only do pictures on there. And I know that my Instagram following could be a lot better if I was doing shorts or the reels or like videos. I mean, look at Normal MTB. I mean, he's freaking killing it, and it's just he's not posting pictures. He's posting videos, and his videos, I'm assuming, are on TikTok too, because they're like that same format. And if he's doing it on YouTube as well, I would hope that he is. He should be able to. He'd be like building a pretty good empire. I mean, the way that he's like blown. I only follow him on Instagram. I haven't looked at his YouTube channel in a while, but yeah. That's like that platform's just he's killing it. He's killing it.
Yeah, he's doing so good.
Yeah.
We got a super chat here from Trail Monster. He's asking a question, Mark. What made you getting into doing these podcasts? And maybe we could both answer that one, Robert.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I was gonna ask you something similar to that, but it's I always wanted to hear people's stories. To give you like the quick 2-second pitch there. I lost 2 twin boys in 2016. And so I missed out on a ton of potential there with those kiddos. And so when I see people out there like overcoming things and like beating a PR or becoming better at something, losing whatever it is, I like to pay attention to those stories, because it's that person's progress and it's that thing that I missed out on with the kiddos. So these podcasts allow me to learn about all different people, and it helps me kind of live through their progress. Like Robert was saying earlier, whether I'm injured or older or not on the bike or whatever, I can learn something and see progress through other people's stories, which is super cool.
Yeah. That's definitely a fun part of it.
Yeah. Robert, how about you? Like, I know I noticed you're very business minded. The way that you set everything up. When we met, you had a business card. I'm like, gosh, man, I got to get a business card.
Yeah.
And I know that you set this up like a brand, which is great. But what sparked that thought to want to set it up this way and to even actually want to do this?
Well, I think in my professional career, doing IT, that I'd been through some processes with branding with the companies that I worked with. And so I understood what that meant and why, like, that's really important. For some people, maybe it's not as important, especially like for some people, you don't need to have a cool logo. You don't need to have any of this stuff to actually start just a YouTube channel, right? Like, just get out there. Like, the most important things, just get out there, make content. But for me, and the way that I work is like, I really am always thinking like way into the future. And like, I wanted to make sure that I had all of that stuff set up right out the gate. Because in my mind, like, if you have a logo that people can recognize, when they would see me in like BKXE's live streams chats, they would like, oh, there's that guy, where there's that logo, right? And then maybe they see that logo now on the side of their YouTube in the feed a couple days later, and they're like, oh, I recognize that from that like I was on that stream the other day. Like something in the back of their head says, oh, I recognize that. It looks cool. Let me click on it, you know? And I feel like that, you know, that branding part is big, you know, and even down to like how I'd start my videos out, you know, what's up, YouTube? You know, like people like they associate what's up, YouTube with my channel. You know what I mean? So that just like it meant a lot for me to like kind of get all that kind of put together. As far as the podcast thing goes, the question that the super chat had thrown up, I just used to do these like long podcasts or long live streams out here in the garage on the biker channel. My lady like travels a lot for work, and I don't like being alone. So I had this like subscriber base, and live streams had just come new to YouTube. And so when she wouldn't be around, I'd be like lonely and want to like hang out with people, and it'd be real easy. Just go out the garage and start a live stream. And I just basically like, I'm not a person that needs to like have a list of things to do. Like I'm a talker, right? So I just go out there with like no plan at all, and basically just sit in the garage, get drunk, and talk to people, right? And like these live streams would go on for like 3 hours, 4 hours sometimes, and it'd just be like me just bullshit with all my buddies that are subscribers, right?
Right.
And I like other guys that I knew that were YouTubers, like they were doing live streams, and they were like, man, they had this like list of things to talk about, and like as soon as they ran out of things, they like didn't know what to do, and like they're like, what do you do, Robert? And I'd be like, I walk in the garage and I open a beer, and then I say, what's up, YouTube? And then that's what happens, you know. And I would always delete them because my perspective was like, A, I don't need whatever I said drunk to be on the internet forever, and B, like I wanted to have people feel like when you see that notification go up that you're going live, that you either show up or you don't get to be part of it, right? So that's why I think that's why my live streams would like grab so many people at times, because like people knew if you're not there, you're going to just hear about it from your buddy. You can't like talk about it. Like you can't go watch it in a couple of days whenever he's like telling you on the ride, oh my God, Robert was doing, they were paying him $20 for every shot that he would do. And he did like 6 shots in a row. And then he did a push-up contest with Paul the punter, and like, you know, like all this stupid shit that would happen. So because of all that stuff, like people, it made me realize that like people really liked that format of just, you know, whatever, me just talking, right? And I started listening to podcasts myself at the time, and I was like, you know what, I think I can do this. And I, in addition to that, had put so much time into my channel for the first year of running it, or year and some time, and I really was neglecting my family and my friends, and mostly what I was really concerned about was my family, like my lady and my kids. I just was like nonstop editing, nonstop filming, nonstop like just channel. And I was burnt out, and I didn't want to like stop doing the biker channel, but I knew I needed to like have something that was like a little bit more sustainable in my life. And so that's whenever I was like, you know what, I could do an interview on Sundays or whatever it was. I don't know if I think I was on Sundays then too. And like, and just, that's another piece of content for the week that people will like it'll still be relevant. And I'll just do that. And that'll like take some of this load off, and some of like how trying to create content, you know, and stay relevant. And, I did that for like a year on the biker channel. And then I started realizing that I didn't know that whether my subscribers were into the podcast or they were into like my vloggy videos, you know? And I was like, I was feeling like YouTube didn't know how to like promote me. And maybe that was wrong, but it was at least the feeling that I had. I felt like YouTube would be like, man, This guy has these people that watch these videos, live streams for 2 hours, but whenever he has a video that comes out, they watch it for 6 minutes. You know, like,
Oh, gotcha. The algorithm was probably getting
yeah.
all jacked up there. No,
Well,
you were putting both of these formats under one channel.
yeah, they were both on the same channel. So then after about a year of doing the biker bar, but on the biker channel,
Mhm.
I just got tired of it. I got tired of like every weekend, always like never having like a weekend that was like, hey, we can go camping all weekend. We can come home Sunday night, or I can watch the football game, or you know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
got like, I was like, I need a break.
Felt like
So
work.
yeah. So I just stopped doing it. And I at that point then some time went by and some other people started doing some mountain bike podcasts, and I was just listening to them and it was irritating me because I didn't like them as much as mine. And I was like, I can do this better. Like I like, at least in my opinion, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm doing season 2. I'm gonna start season 2. Fuck all
Nice.
these bitches, you
Yeah.
know? And
You feel it, you got to go for it.
yeah. So then at that point, I was like, you know what? I need to separate these two because of what I said. I need to know if the people that are subscribed to this channel are there for the podcast or they're there for the other thing. So I started
Interesting.
out season 2, had Seth on from Seth Bike Hacks at the time.
One of the
And
biggest dudes out there.
yeah, man. And now I've been at it for, oh man, I don't even know how. It's been over a year. Yeah, it's been over a year.
Wow.
I think. Yeah, it has to have been over a year.
Must be. I mean, you just filmed what, episode 145?
No, 106. I did
106. Okay,
Yeah.
106.
Yeah,
104.
so it's been a little over a year. Because the first, like this last year, I haven't done one every weekend. So and I think I had 48 episodes or something like that, 47 episodes, and when I had it on the biker channel. So I copied I had to download all those,
Oh man.
upload them to the new channel. I hid them all on the biker channel, so they're still there in case somebody had like a link to it somewhere and something. I didn't want to delete those videos. So there's some out there, like if it was shared to some website, like in a forum or something like that, like they would still get to it on the biker channel. But I changed all the links in it to like go back to the new channel.
Gotcha. And do you see a difference now that you've done that? Does the algorithm treat your channel a little bit different, whether it's on the biker bar or the biker channel?
I don't know, honestly.
Definitely. I know. Who knows, right?
I really don't know. I feel like it makes a difference, at least to me, because I know that the people there, like, this is what they want. You know, there's a part of me that was like, you know, some people that like podcasts could give a shit about watching YouTube videos, right? So like if they're subscribed to your channel for a podcast and that's really all they want, when you make a YouTube video, they're like, they're annoyed by maybe that notification, right? Like it's something you don't want to see. So why do that? You know, give people what it is that they actually want. And if they want to go to the other one, I can talk about the channel on the podcast channel. They can go over there and check it out. Vice versa, you know, like on my other channel, on the biker channel, every week when I have a podcast, or even like for this show, I made a post that says, hey, go watch this over on the biker bar. People don't have to do that. A lot of them don't, you know, there's like 15,000 people on that channel. And there's only 3,000 on the other one. So obviously there's a different market, you know?
Interesting. And I wonder what the hits are comparative to, like, you know, iTunes and Spotify, if they're higher numbers there than they are on the biker bar YouTube. Maybe those are the people that just want to listen. Yeah,
my podcast downloads are higher than the YouTube watches.
Gotcha.
So that's for sure. So and it's really interesting that more people lately come up to me and say they know me from the podcast than they do my other channel, which is really interesting to me. It's like really surprising.
It's funny because you and I were talking about that, and sometimes with all of our gear on and everything, people will recognize the voice, you know, versus the bike or the style of riding or what have you. But that's interesting, right? It's very interesting. MTB Rad Dad has a question for you. He says, "Are you worried about the promoting with the new review format you're doing?"
I don't know what he means by that. I read that question when you guys first put it up on the screen,
Yeah.
and I'm not exactly sure what he means by that. So I'm gonna like talk a little bit and see if he throws something else up there in the comments.
Yes.
But as far as like, am I worried about what the brands feel like, um, like I'm saying about it? No, not at all, because that's what YouTube is, right? It's like a platform for you to be like honest, right?
Mhm.
As far as like, oh, I see what he's saying. So between the ride videos and the 90-second reviews, I'm not really no, I don't think so on that, because I think on that channel, it's like a vlog type of channel, right? So I still put the ride videos up there. I still do and like, I feel like it's just content on that channel. So it's like, what the algorithm cares about is that you put a video out, do people click it, right? Because they like the thumbnail or whatever. And do they watch it? Like, how much of it do they watch? Do they watch all of it, or do they watch 10 seconds of it and move on? You know, and that's really what matters. Like, how much of the video are they watching?
Mhm.
So
that
I
retainment
feel
graph
like,
is always so tough to look at for
yeah,
me anyway.
yeah, I feel like that you know, on a podcast, as far as YouTube goes, like, people could see my thumbnail and think it's going to be a short video, and they click on it and they see it's 2 hours long, and they're like, I'm out. You know what I mean? And maybe some of them might listen for a couple of minutes and then be like, oh, wow, actually, this is interesting. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like, I'm sure there's a lot of clicks on the podcast that like people just go because they're like, that's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. That's why I've tried to change my thumbnails on the podcast now to like show episode number like on the thumbnail, so that way people kind of know like it's going to be a podcast. It's not going to be a video. Like, if you notice, like Rogan's, like his always would be like, it would just be a screenshot of like us talking right now.
Yeah,
You know
with
what
the
I mean?
microphones and
Yeah.
yeah.
So like people were like, oh, okay, that's what this is. They know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
So I think as far as the other channel goes, like, it's just me making videos on that other channel. It's not me like doing interviews. So to me, that's the same content. I know a lot of people aren't stoked that I'm not doing as much ride videos right now.
Because that's your biggest following, isn't it? That you got 15K over there.
Yeah. And I'm, like I said, I'm not doing a lot of videos over there and right now, as far as like the ride goes, or like the weight loss stuff. And I think some of that is, there's two different things. With the weight loss stuff, I feel like there has to be like a certain amount of time that goes by to like show a result that is like something fun to watch. Otherwise, it's going to be like the same thing over and over again, right?
Right.
Like, oh, here's me, what I eat. Here's how I work out. Here's like me being pissed off I gained weight. Here's me being happy I lost weight. You know, but like I feel like there's not like a lot of room for a story in there, at least for what I want to creatively make. And then as far as the ride videos go, like, it's really hard for me to get motivated to like start the edit. And that's what I've noticed. Like, whenever when I start the edit, I'm like, I'm in, like, I love doing it, but it's just like hard for me to get motivated to start the edit. And I've been struggling with that lately. And hopefully, you know, everything in life like comes and goes. So I'm sure it'll pass, and soon enough I'll be doing some more. So
yeah, no, it's, as long as it's fun, right? It's great, and it'd be wonderful if this overtook the main income someday, so you could be creative and kind of make your own hours and have fun doing so.
Yeah, I definitely would enjoy that. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I would have always thought of like having my own business, you know, and like that's always been something that was really appealing to me. But never really, like, I've had a few different things that I kind of chased after. And one of them actually was whenever I bought the domain Biker, like, it was a different idea than what it is now. And then because of that, like, that want to have a business, my own business, like, that's kind of what got me to where I am with the biker channels now. And it's actually the first thing that I'm like really stoked about. Like, I really like the idea of being a podcaster, of being like a social media influencer, you know, whatever you want to call it, a YouTuber. Like, I think it's really rad. Like I really enjoy the whole like the creative part. I love the like influencing people like for like to like you know how many people I've met that have told me like how much weight they've lost just from like the like 8 videos that I made about it.
Oh, that's
You know,
cool.
like
That's
that's
so
like
cool.
that like I've like impacted the hell out of people's lives.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. You know, like that's really,
Yeah.
really cool. Like I don't know. Like
Well, when you told me the story about your tires and the way that you like a tire a certain way and how you described this specific tire and how it had these like rolling ramps in the middle, and then bike shops all around you were starting to use the same language because people were coming in talking your
yeah,
words, and they were
yeah.
kind of blew you away, right?
Yeah. It was actually one of my friends that works at a bike shop in Arizona was telling me like people are coming in and they're keep asking for that tire because of your video, dude. Like, like you know, it's like, oh wow, that's rad. He's like, yeah, it's just crazy, you know. So
Yeah, it's fun. Well, Robert, I mean, we're at 120 right now. I always try to keep these a little bit closer to an hour, but it's so easy to talk to you, and we have all
thank
these
you.
people on the line. It's so fun. But let everybody know where they could find you if they want more of Biker, more of Biker Bar, more of Robert.
Yeah.
Where are the areas they can find you?
So definitely there's a bunch of spots that you can do. If you type in B1KER into Google, most of them are going to come up. But if you're looking for videos on YouTube, if you type in B1 and just hit enter, I bet you the Biker Bar and the Biker channel come up. If that's all you can remember. But if you want to spell it out, biker, just like the name biker, the word biker, the one in the dictionary, it's just a one instead of an I. If you want to say it wrong, like 90% of my subscribers, you call me B1ker or B1ker or bite. I don't know. Biker one, one biker, B1 biker, biker B1. There's a lot of them. You can do all of
Right.
those things. I'm pretty sure those will all come up in Google as well. If you want to see some pictures or what's going on, like more daily kind of interaction, you can check me out on Instagram and Facebook. Those are both at Biker B1. So B1KER B1, just to make it
B1KE.
confusing. If you just search Biker though, B1KER, it'll come up. You'll see my logo. You'll know that's me. There's some like Russian dude like that's into motorcycles. He's got Biker. If I ever meet him, I'm gonna hijack his Instagram account. Maybe I should hire some North Korean hackers to get the Biker Instagram. Then it'll be mine. So,
That's where the algorithm, he's like, why do I have all these subscribers? And
right?
no,
Yeah.
I don't have tires like that.
Right. So and then if you want to help me keep growing this thing, go to Patreon for like $1 a month. You can be like, it's like whenever your bartender fills up your beer and you give him $1 for doing that, like you could do the same thing to me. And except for now for like $12 a year, you get access to coupons that I have set up with vendors that I've talked to or companies that I talked to on the show. And then you also have like another way that you could get a little bit more. You can get some stickers or some merch and stuff like that. So Patreon, just search Biker B1KER again.
That is awesome. And speaking of the Patreon, let's actually do a giveaway tonight. Uncaged MTB and I, we want to go ahead and buy 2 people access to your Patreon for a year so that they can have access to that. Because one of the great things about having access to your Patreon is the coupon codes that you get from being on there. And so like for $1 a month, you're going to get way more value in what you're going to get out of the Biker Bar on Patreon. So we want to go ahead and give 2 of those away. I saw somebody up here, and I don't know if you know, I'm sure you have a ton of people on here, but somebody came specifically for you, and I wanted to give them 1 year of the Biker Bar on Patreon. And that was, let's see, yo, I came here for Biker. I'm going to go ahead and hit these people up, but I'm going to pick 2 of them, hook them up so that they can get to the Patreon. And when I connect with you, send me your Venmo so I can send the 12 months to you to sign up for Biker.
You know, that's really rad, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, you're doing some great stuff. And I mean, talk a little bit. Yeah, talk a little bit about that Patreon.
You have those 2 people. You tell me those 2 people that you end up finding and getting their information. I normally have a like merch pack that I have set for like a $20, $25 group that's on Patreon. So it's like a Yeti mug, like this thing here that I drink out all the time, but it's got a biker logo on it. There's one of them up there in the background.
There you go.
A headband, a bottle opener, a sticker pack, a bunch of stuff I put in that merch pack. You tell me who those two people are. I know you're doing the tip jar is what I call the dollar one.
Yep.
And I'll send them the box too.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
There we go. We'll skim through these. Yeah, there's definitely one I saw who came straight over for you, and we'll pick the other one at random. But just want to really expand what you're doing there, because I mean, obviously that sticker pack, what you have to provide, but on top of that, all the content that you're going to get through that Patreon and all those codes, because I know every single one of those festivals, you're out there working it. You're at every tent talking to everybody, and you're getting the coupon codes for everybody. So folks who are listening to the show, if you are not selected for $1 a month at the Biker, you can get on Patreon and get access to so many different companies and discounts, especially for this time of year.
Yeah. That's rad, man.
Yeah.
There's a handful of things on there. It's not like the mecca of coupon codes. It's not like I'm ready to throw up my own coupon code website. But there's a handful of things on there, and at that $1 a month, I always tell people it's like I just said, it's like throwing $1 at the bartender. It's not much. There's that other tier that's like $5 a month. It's like buying your buddy a beer once a month. Like we probably all do that. At least I do. You know what I mean? Like we'll be out like, don't worry about it, dude. Lunch is on me or whatever. So here you're getting a lot of like information or entertainment. Like I feel like it's worth something. So, and if enough of you guys do that, then I can like walk into work one day and be like, fuck you, you're cool, I'm out.
That you have to film. That would make a TikTok. That would take 30 seconds.
Right? Yeah, definitely. So.
Oh man. Well, Robert, thank you for spending time with us here on the segment. Always love what you're doing out there. Keep up everything that you're doing, and I can't wait to see how you progress. This is always so good. Empty Brad Dad says, oh, he was talking about entertainer. So he was he said you're an entertainer, because rather than that.
Be a stripper too, man. I mean, if the price is right, dude, I'll do anything, man.
That's a good way to end it. But thank you all for being on. Really appreciate you all. And Robert, take a look at Robert at B1ker on the podcast. You can download that wherever you download your podcast, as well as Biker on the YouTube. And if you always want to join the Patreon, you get some excellent value there as well. All right, guys. Hope you are doing well. It only takes a bike to be a biker. Robert,
get out and be one, bitches.
Get out and be one. See you guys.